To say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power.
Neck is wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
They both hit hard. And you can see the strength. You know, when I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go for fighting Canelo?
Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith analyzed the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown. Stephen A. predicts a Crawford victory by decision but urges caution, pointing to Gervonta Davis's warning that Crawford could run into danger if he engages too often. With Canelo's natural size and power as major factors, Stephen A. emphasizes that Crawford's path to success lies in his defense. Speed and ring IQ, not trading punches. Both analysts underline that strategy, not strength, will determine the outcome.
And a neck as wide as Broadway, for crying out loud.
Right.
The thing that I don't like about Canelo is that it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yes.
And that's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble, and I'm not sure it was him, but I think it was him. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's going to go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the...
Meanwhile, Max Kellerman points out that Terence Crawford's skill set looks sharper, giving him a clear technical edge. He acknowledges Canelo Alvarez's granite chin and naturally bigger frame, which provides strength in exchanges. However, Kellerman notes that Canelo hasn't appeared as dominant or polished in recent outings, hinting at a slight decline. This sets up the matchup as a clash of Crawford's precision and timing against Canelo's size and durability.
Great chin. A great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has.
You'd have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrigal.
Antonio Tarver, former champion and respected boxing analyst, has voiced his support for Terence Crawford while recognizing the enormous challenge ahead. Tarver notes that Crawford has repeatedly proven himself across multiple weight divisions, but this bout stands in a league of its own. He emphasizes that while it may be Crawford's toughest test yet, it's also a type of fight Canelo Alvarez has never truly experienced before.
I'm Bud County all the way, but this is going to be the toughest fight, the best fighter Bud has ever been in the ring with. And arguably, this could be the best fighter Canelo has ever been in the ring with. We'll find out which one is which on September 13th.
Antonio, I appreciate your time. Safe travels back home.
Man, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Antonio.
For Timothy Bradley Jr., renowned for his boxing intelligence, predicts the opening round of Canelo versus Crawford will be cautious and tactical. He expects both fighters to avoid unnecessary risks, instead using the early moments to study timing, movement, and openings. Bradley points out that Crawford is notoriously patient in big fights, preferring to observe before setting traps, while Canelo often spends the first round gauging distance and making adjustments. In Bradley's view, the fight will begin more like a chess match than an explosive exchange, with strategy outweighing action in the early going.
Crawford wants to feel his punching power as well. In the beginning, it's all the position balance. Like both guys are trying to get balance and trying to find their rhythm, understanding their distance to where they can punch and at the same time avoid getting hit. It takes Crawford a little bit more time than I would say Canelo to get right to it. Canelo, although he is a prolific counterpuncher, fantastic counterpuncher, he tends to find his spots a lot quicker. And the indication of that is when, if you look at any of the boxers that Canelo has faced, Trout, even Danny Jacobs, even when he fought against Charlo, you just check out the first round. He usually takes off, just feels the power, cruises, see what these guys know, couple of feints, level changes, gathering information, right? Crawford does the same and similar things. So I think the first round's going to be a real calm and cautious round by both fighters. But in the second round, Canelo's going to start applying that pressure, man. Pre-engagement with Crawford is a little bit more difficult than a Charlo, okay? Let me explain this. So pre-engagement is the movements before you get into that sweet spot, which is mid-range, to be able to let your hands go, right? Both guys are trying to counter each other's movement. Both guys are looking at each other's, hands, trying to anticipate what they believe is going to come next.
Amir Khan, having shared the ring with both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, offers a rare perspective on their matchup. He emphasizes that Crawford has already cemented his status as an all-time great, particularly at welterweight. However, Khan warns that weight divisions exist for a reason. Moving up against naturally bigger opponents brings serious risks. In his view, Crawford didn't need to take on the pressure of facing Canelo, since his legacy is already secure. Still, Khan respects the ambition behind the move, calling it a bold attempt to silence critics and achieve what few fighters in history have done: defied the boundaries of weight classes. At the same time, he cautions that while Crawford is undeniably elite, stepping up against someone with Canelo's size and power is a dangerous gamble, one that could either elevate Crawford to legendary status or jeopardize his career.
All the build-up, they're nothing but respectful. I just feel that, in boxing, weight divisions are made there they make him for a purpose. And I highly respect and say pound for pound, the best fighter is Crawford by far, and beats anyone. But when you start putting weight on and you go up a weight and you fight these guys like Canelo, even though Canelo might be now getting a little bit older and might be slowing down a little bit, but he's still going to be very dangerous. That punch power, you're still going to get tagged, you're still going to get hit. You're going to have to spar heavier guys to get ready for that anyway. So you're going to be taking a lot of wear and tear anyway. You're going to have to put adding a few pounds on. Does he need to put that pressure on himself? He's done what no one's ever done before. 2-time undisputed world champion. So why not just enjoy? But obviously you want to go for that next challenge. Now for him, he wants to go for that Canelo. I would advise him not to go for that. But if he's the man and he knows how good he is himself. So I can't really say to him that do this or do that. So really,
he believes in his skills. He feels
he believes in his skill. We can't answer for him. We let him go and do it. You know what I'm saying? And we all might be wrong. He might be even stronger than Canelo. He might pack the weight on well. That he might do really well in there. So look,
you want them both. Like, what are the differences between them? Obviously, it's weight.
Canelo's strong and is easily hit. Very easily hit. Very easily. Compared to when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even hit clean. So really, that's the difference. And they both hit hard. And you can see the strength. When I was fighting against Crawford, I didn't think Crawford was that strong, but when he kind of moved me around a little bit, he is very strong as well. So look, yeah, but why does he need to give that much away? He's pound for pound #1 in the world. Why does he have to go?
Tom LaFeller views the fight through the lens of business and spectacle. He notes that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are two of the sport's biggest global stars, each commanding massive fan bases across different nations and demographics. According to LaFeller, few modern fights can match this one in scale. It's not just a battle of skills, but a collision of empires. Canelo's long-established reign as the face of boxing against Crawford's rise as a pound-for-pound king. LaFeller insists the hype is warranted, as it's rare to see two fighters of this caliber agree to clash, especially with weight differences and legacy on the line.
Show, it's huge. It doesn't get any bigger than that. And you got to give credit to both guys. They're both very confident. They both have very passionate fan bases. Callum, having fought in Dublin, packed the arena out there, the 3 Arena, having fought at Madison Square Garden 3 times, fought in Boston, and then Fernando Jr., from one of the biggest boxing named families, in the history of boxing. He's going to bring out a huge fan base. So it's a really exciting addition to, such a big show that like I said, doesn't get any bigger than that for sure.
I agree. I think that you, along with me, have seen some of these criticisms of the undercard. But really, when you look at it, I mean, we both know Callum Walsh so well. The personality and the authenticity that he brings to this sport is just so sincere. He's so real. Being from Ireland, coming overseas to train and dedicate his life to this craft, and his personality is so magnetic that it obviously brought someone like Dana White to be a huge support.
7 trainer Dave Coldwell praised Terence Crawford's distinctive style, pointing to his smooth stance switches and precise footwork that let him control range. Coldwell noted that Crawford's leg movement is one of his most overlooked weapons, helping him create angles, break opponents' rhythm, and dictate the pace of a fight. Against a relentless pressure fighter like Canelo Alvarez, Coldwell believes these qualities could be decisive. He explained that if Crawford can stay mobile, avoid being pinned on the ropes, and continue to dictate movement, he has the skill set to outmaneuver Canelo and